We don't. He's not in till 9 a.m.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Niners, Bears, this Sunday.
It's a must-win, Dave. I hate to say it. It's a must-win.
It is 100% a must-win. They've got to win. I mean, what is there any scenario in which the 49ers don't win a Super Bowl that the season would be deemed successful? Is it Super Bowl or bust for these guys? Obviously, injuries aside and all
that. Before the season starts, it feels like that's the saying. But, I mean, what if they do something very similar to last year, which was, the NFC Championship game? And Trey Lance is great.
Sure.
I don't think anybody's thinking, well, this was the window.
Yeah, I don't think that's considered a bust at that point.
Right.
Like,
if Trey's great and they have that kind of year, that's good, right? You'll be disappointed when it ended, but you also have answered the question like, okay, they made the move to move up to get Trey Lance. You had a 1-year kind of window to work with Jimmy. Jimmy's back in this weird backup role, but Trey's our guy. And now, like next year, we're not going into, hey, you know, at camp today, he was 2 of 6 with 3 picks. No, he's your quarterback.
Kind of in the spirit of what Jason's saying. I think, so you're saying Super Bowl or bust, because I understand because they have a roster built, obviously, to make it to the big dance. But basically, if Trey Lance is really good this year, I even think they could lose out in the divisional round and people will still feel okay.
Yeah.
I think really for the 49ers, this is how good will Trey Lance be? Which is also kind of unfair to him because he's essentially a rookie.
Yeah.
And you have to give him time to grow. But, you brought it up earlier. It's the not for long league.
Well, could there be a scenario, you guys? I don't know that this could be possible, but could the Niners win it all and Trey Lance be just okay?
Yeah, for sure.
So when the year ends, we go, is he you won a Super Bowl with him.
Right.
So every, gets a leash for a long time, but you go, is he really the guy for the next 10 years?
Was last year successful?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, they made it on the last game of the season.
Right.
And then,
good playoff run. I mean,
good playoff run.
Beating the Cowboys, beating the Packers.
Yeah. And considering where they came from the first half of the season, by week 6, we thought this team was done last year.
We did. They weren't great.
They were awful.
And then they woke up. And then they were a quarter away. I mean, listen, this team is 2 quarters away from having a Super Bowl championship and another Super Bowl appearance. If you count the Chiefs and then last year's Rams.
Yeah, for sure.
If. I totally get it.
Because you could also flip that. I mean, if Jimmy G doesn't save him on week 18 or whatever it was, they didn't even make it. They're out. A nice final 2-minute drive.
This is a stacked team. I mean, when you really look at it top to bottom, apart from Trey Lance, because that's obviously that's the entire question mark and the little period at the bottom. Elijah Mitchell's going into his 2nd year, in which he had a phenomenal rookie campaign.
And he's supposed to be healthy for week 1. So that's good.
Everyone's talking about Brandon Ayuk and his
growth.
There you go. Debo's Debo.
Kittle's healthy.
Juwan Jennings was great in his role last year.
Every report out of camp is, you look at the other side of the ball, Javon Kinlaw is supposed to really be like, this is supposed to be the breakout year.
Kinlaw, Bosa, Armstead when he comes back, Warner, Greenlaw, Al-Shaair.
Oh yeah, you had Richard Sherman has been praising that, like, this is a top 5 secondary in the NFL.
Right. And that was part of the problem last year. This team is stacked. They are stacked. Unfortunately, there are some other stacked teams around them too. It's very difficult to predict what they will do. Obviously, it's football. What they should do is they should come out really honestly 3-0. At the Bears.
Yeah, on paper for sure.
Home Seahawks, at the Broncos.
The Broncos could be really pretty tough.
I think it will be very tough.
Sunday night on the road.
I don't think they will be 3-0. I got to be honest. I think it's a coin flip as to whether or not they beat the Bears this weekend. Not because the Bears are better or as good, but because it just doesn't.
Week 1.
Doesn't this weekend feel like one of those games where we're going to be talking on Monday? Like, what happened?
Well, to compound that, if the Bears beat the 49ers, all you're going to hear about is, and I think this is stupid, but trust me, again, everyone overreacts. Justin Fields should have been the guy, not Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey's not ready. Go to Jimmy.
It's going to be, again, it'll be, when you talk about overreactions, if they lose to Chicago Sunday, OMG.
Wait a minute here. I thought I noticed. Yeah, I mean, the answer is yes. Why are we playing at Chicago 2 years in a row? And why am I saying we? But you get my point.
Because you play for the team too.
No, why did we play at Chicago last year on Halloween where they won 33-22?
It's a big game for Jimmy.
And then opening at, I understand if you're playing Chicago, I guess, twice in a row, okay, 2 years in a row. I mean, why wouldn't it be a home and home?
That'll make the schedule.
That is a really weird scheduling quirk, isn't it? Unless there's an explanation I don't know.
The only thing I remember on scheduling is you play your own division obviously twice.
Yeah.
You get another division you're assigned to in the NFC, and it looks like this year they get the NFC South, because Saints, Bucks, Falcons.
Okay.
You get an AFC division, which they get the AFC West.
Okay.
And now that
Which
there's a
sucks.
17th game, there's one extra game you get to play, and they got to sign the Bears, and why it's road, not home. I don't know. Because last year I think the Niners did they have one more home game than road, and now maybe this year it's flipped?
Well, in 2017 they played at Chicago, beat them 15-14. Then they followed up in 2018 hosting Chicago, in which they lost at home 14-9. Boy, is
I
that
remember
neat.
that kid.
Oh, that was the Nick Mullins game. Jeff Wilson Jr. with 20.
Big pick, Nick.
Jeff Wilson Jr. led the team with 27 yards rushing.
But it was an impactful 27.
It was a huge 27. But, and then
Jeff Wilson Jr., the backup that will never leave.
Never, ever. He will be there forever. Jeff Wilson Jr. is the Adonis Haslam of the Niners. Just he hasn't been there as long.
I can't wait for 40-year-old Jeff Wilson to be coming out.
It just seems though like one of those games you could totally see them choking. But let's not, whatever. They should be going into that Rams matchup 3-0, but we've also learned this, and yet we do it all the time. Nothing's going to happen the way we think it's going to happen. It's football. That's what makes it so wonderful. Watch, they're going to beat the Broncos and they're going to beat the Bears, but they'll lose to who the hell's in the middle? The
other team.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks. The Seahawks will beat them. The Rams, by the way, not only are they open against the Bills, then they go Falcons, and they go at Cards, at Niners, home Cowboys. Congratulations on that title, guys. We're going to give you a schedule.
Yeah.
Well, the schedule's rough, especially. Go ahead, Jason. But with the AFC West being factored in, you're talking about, on paper, the toughest division in football.
Well, and I think, isn't it the first? Yeah, the Niners play the Rams twice in the first 8 weeks. Like, they're going to be done with them.
Done with them, thank God.
But in the front half of the season, they get them twice.
Just real quick as we break. Rams.
Yeah, theirs is brutal.
Home Bills at Cardinals. At Niners. Home Cowboys. Now, this is all in a row. Home Niners. At Buccaneers. Home Cardinals. At Chiefs. Home Raiders. At Packers. And then you got a home Broncos in there. That's a
schedule.
Brutal schedule. Wow. Good for them. Screw the Rams.
That's what happens when you win the whole shebang-a-bang, or whatever the old saying is.
That's it.
That is the whole saying.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Angelique Ashby will join us next. She's going to give us the lowdown on everything happening tomorrow with the big Sacramento Republic viewing party that